Chapter 127. It was just that she did not expect that during the wedding ceremony. Su Zihan did not hesitate to beat up her own child to frame Su Anan, and got married to Mu Jinyu instead. Mu Jinyu and his wife really wanted a grandson to stabilize their position in the Mu family. She actually hit her child without permission, and like that, they didn't have the same attitude as before, as they could accept her into the Ma family. She couldn't enter the Mu family's door, so Su Hua didn't allow Su Zihan to return to the Su family. It wasn't a long-term plan to stay in the hotel. After thinking about it, Jiang Mei brought her to the hospital. No matter what, Su Zihan was Mu Jinyu's wife, so she had the right to enter the Mu family. In the ward of the hospital, Mu Jinyu's fall at the wedding banquet caused his bones to go out of position. After he was settled into position by the doctor, he did not dare to move around anymore. When Su Zihan and Jiang Mei went in, Mu Jinyu was being wiped clean by a nurse. When Lady Mu saw Su Zihan and her daughter, her expression immediately darkened. She knew that Su Zihan was going to the Mao family, and what Mu Jinyu meant was that they did not want this wife anymore, so her meaning was the same. When Lady Ma thought about how Su Zihan had selfishly beaten up her son, her heart ached. She really hated herself for being blind and believing Su Zihan's words, almost sending Su Anan into the police station. Previously, she kept saying that she would take revenge for her unborn grandson. How could she have known that the one who killed her grandson was her grandson's biological mother? My mother. Jiang Mei felt that the atmosphere in the ward was not right, so she said shamelessly to Lady Mu. Then, she pulled at Su Zihan's clothes and warned her in a low voice, "Zihan, call for someone." Su Zihan felt bad when she thought about how Lady Mu wouldn't let her in, so she called out to Lady Mu unwillingly, "Mom?" This word mother came out from her, and Mu Jinyu's mouths after they had received their certificates. At that time, when Lady Mo heard it, she was overjoyed in her heart and happily gave Su Zihan a big red packet. She even told her and Mu Jinyu to hurry up and let her hug her grandson. Grandson? Thinking about her grandson, Lady Mu felt that it was really ironic. "Don't shout." Lady Mu stopped her as she spoke to the smiling Jiang Mei with a gloomy face. "Madam Su, Miss Su, we cannot casually form a relationship with each other." The Ma family was steeled in her heart now that they had let Su Zihan go. How could Jiang Mi and Su Hua follow her wishes? "Dear mother, what are you saying?" Jiang Mei said as she continued smiling. "Zihan and Jinyu have received their certificates. They are husband and wife." These words, Jiang Mei purposely emphasized her tone, reminding Lady Ma that marriage was not something that they could break away from as they pleased. "Husband and wife?" Lady Mu laughed coldly. Was there a wife who broke her husband's wrist at a wedding? Jiang Mei pushed Su Zihan and said, "Zihan, quickly go and take care of Jinyu." Mu Jinyu's hands were inconvenient to eat. He would need to be fed by a nurse, even if he wanted to eat. When Su Zihan came in, she just so happened to see the nurse wiping Mu Jinyu's body. "Mom, there's a nurse taking care of that place." Su Zihan did not understand Jiang Mi's suggestion and directly rejected her. After she finished speaking, she walked to Mu Jinyu's side and said in a soft voice, "Brother Jinyu, I'm sorry." Mu Jinyu had been wearing a cold expression ever since she came in. He saw that the expression of gentleness and apology on Su Zihan's face didn't change as she usually did. But instead, he felt disgusted with her hypocrisy. He didn't really want to marry Su Zihan in the first place. But after knowing that Su Zihan had beaten up and framed her own child without permission, he had even more of a reason to not marry Su Zihan. "Zihan, let's get divorced," Mu Jinyu said directly. He did not want to waste any more time with Su Zihan. Only then would he have the qualifications to go and find Su Anan after getting divorced. Hearing Mu Jinyu's words, Su Zihan was stunned. She came over to accept Lady Ma's wrath and apologized to him in grievance. He didn't forgive her for not saying so, and even said that he wanted a divorce. "Brother Jinyu, what do you mean by this?" Su Zihan asked. After she finished speaking, she noticed that her voice had become shrill, causing Mu Jinyu and Lady Mu to frown. "Brother Jinyu, I'm sorry." Receiving Jiang Mi's warning, her voice softened. "It's my fault. I shouldn't have knocked out our child. Actually, I really wanted to stay behind with that child, but that fall made me afraid that there would be problems with the child. If I gave birth to a damaged child, then I would be responsible for it." As Su Zihan said this, her tears flowed. Mu Jinyu was only thinking about getting divorced from her now, so he did not listen to Su Zihan's explanation at all. Even if there were no events at the wedding banquet, he didn't like Su Zihan as much as before. It was only a matter of time before he would abandon Su Zihan. The doctor said the baby was fine. Lady Mu mocked Su Zihan's explanation. She finally understood that Su Zihan was just a selfish person. She was not worthy to be married to Jinyu. Zihan, you and Jinyu get your divorce certificate, Lady Mu said coldly. Towards Su Zihan, she couldn't like her one bit. The reason why she beat up her grandson was because she was harming him. The moment Lady Mu and Mu Jinyu started talking about divorce, Jiang Mei could not laugh. Without Lady Mu's consent, she sat on the sofa in the ward. Lady Mu's meaning is to have us. Zihan, divorce your son, and completely forget about the relationship between the two families. When Lady Mu heard Jiang Mi's words and saw the mocking smile on the corner of her mouth, her heart froze. This was the true face of Jiang Mei. Right, Lady Mu said. After the marriage is annulled, Zihan, I will still treat you like my daughter. Lady Mu, we, Zihan, are not Su Anan, Jiang Mei reminded her with a smile. Lady Mu had told Su Anan these words before. No one cared about Su Anan. Su Zihan was not that. Divorce? Jiang Mei laughed coldly. I don't agree. Even if my daughter beat the child up, she was slept with by your son for 2 years. Now that we're talking about divorce, did she give your son a free sleep? Jiang Mei asked coldly. In the past, Jiang Mei and Lady Mu had always been very polite with each other. They never would have used such a sarcastic and sharp tone to speak. Lady Mu was angered by Jiang Mei, and she replied angrily, It's normal for people to break up in a relationship. My Zihan wasted 2 years of her youth on your son, and even wasted her own body by giving him a child. Your Ma family wants to cancel the engagement right now, but she doesn't even have a chance, Jiang Mei said in a cold voice. It was impossible to break off the engagement. Seeing how determined Jiang Mei was, Lady Mu's voice became even more furious, and she asked directly, Then what do you want? Because from Jiang Mei's words, Mu Jinyu had also looked over. Jiang Mei pursed her lips and revealed a smile. The coldness on her face faded, and she said gently, My dear mother, what I mean is, since Zihan and Dijin Yu have already divorced, we should let them live a good life. Forget about the past. Our Zihan will definitely give birth to a child for the Mu family as soon as possible. When she mentioned children, Su Zihan still had the same thought as before. She didn't want to bear children so early and make herself ugly. She pulled down her face, her unhappy expressions falling into the eyes of Lady Mu and Mu Jinyu. I don't dare, Lady Mu said. I'm afraid that if she gave birth to her child, she would mistreat it too. It might not be impossible for it to be born, she added. Su Zihan's position in Lady Mu's heart plummeted. Lady Mu even felt that Su Anan was better. If not for Su Zihan, their families Jinyu would have long since been together with Anan. How would they make the old man unhappy? How would they let the Mu family lose all face? The more Lady Mu thought about it, the more regretful she felt. The more she thought about it, the more blind she became. Of course I can. Jiang Mei received it with a smile. Zihan and Dijin Yu are young. It's not a matter of minutes if they want a child. My dear mother, there is no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Su Hua and my mother mean the same. And this Zihan and Dijin Yu already have their proof that she is Mu family's daughter-in-law. If you don't allow Zihan to enter the Mu family, then my mother will lose a lot of face. Furthermore, if you all were to return her back to the Su family, she would be too embarrassed to be with you. Jiang Mi smiled and said. The words made Lady Mu dizzy. What kind of family did she invite? This was the first time she had met someone as hypocritical as Jiang Mei. If she allowed Su Zihan to enter Mu family's door, she would definitely die from anger. However, Jiang Mei talked about the Su family and herself. This was simply using the Jiang family to suppress her. Back then, when she abandoned Su Anan and chose Su Zihan, it was because of the Jiang family behind Su Zihan. The Jiang family was someone they couldn't afford to offend right now. She had done all sorts of evil deeds and had provoked her, so how could she possibly live a good life? As Lady Mu thought about it, she leaned against the chair and rested due to the headache. Seeing that Lady Mu did not retort, Jiang Mei smiled. She walked to Mu Jinyu's bedside and smiled. Jinyu, from now on, my family's Zihan will belong to you. Mu Jinyu didn't want to take it anymore, but Jiang Mei placed her hand on the back of his hand. He could not move his hands. She could only let them do as they pleased. Madam Su, I won't be with Zihan, Mu Jinyu said. Jinyu, you and Zihan are already husband and wife. Besides, your mom has no objections. How could Lady Mu not have an opinion? She only wanted to retort at Jiang Mi's words, afraid of offending her. Lady Mu, since the two of them are married, there is no way to annul the engagement. My family Zihan is very well behaved. In the future, I will be counting on you to take care of her. Seeing that the situation was settled, Jiang Mei said to Su Zihan, Zihan, take good care of Jinyu here. Mother will go home first. Mom. Su Zihan was unwilling to let Jiang Mei go, but she was still a little afraid to face Mu Jinyu and Lady Mu. Not afraid. Jiang Mei patted Su Zihan's hands. You're already married, you should stay at your husband's home. With that, Jiang Mei looked at Lady Mu and said with a smile, besides, your mother-in-law is a sensible person, so she will not bother with your matters in the past. Even if it's on your grandmother's account, she will treat you well. There were many meanings in those words, causing Lady Mu to be unable to breathe. Jiang Mei, calling her Jiang Mei and calling her Old Lady Jiang, didn't that count as relying on the power of the Jiang family to suppress her? No way, she had to leave this place first, otherwise she would be angered to death by Jiang Mei. What kind of sin was this, to fall in love with Su Zihan for her own son? The more Lady Mu thought about it, the more regretful she became. She stood up and left the sick room first. Jiang Mei sneered as she watched Lady Mu leave angrily. She then told Su Zihan to take care of Mu Jinyu before she left as well. Only Su Zihan and Mu Jinyu were left in the ward. The atmosphere was extremely awkward. Brother Jinyu, let me peel an apple for you. Su Zihan fawned over Mu Jinyu. Mu Jinyu glanced coldly at Su Zihan. Zihan, let's get divorced. The moment he opened his mouth, he brought up the matter of divorce. Mu Jinyu regretted spending his life with her so much that he wanted to divorce her. Su Zihan, who was holding the apple, was stunned. She did not have Jiang Mei's patience. Brother Jinyu, what do you mean by this? I'm so good to you. Why did you divorce me? As Su Zihan said this, she thought of Su Anan. You want to divorce me and go find Su Anan, right? The moment Su Anan was mentioned, even her tone of voice changed, and a sinister look appeared on her face. Mu Jinyu looked at this Su Zihan and felt annoyed. Yes. I don't love you, he said simply. When he was in love, Mu Jinyu held her in his hands. Mu Jinyu was overjoyed. Mu Jinyu, don't even think about it. Su Zihan also did not want to continue pretending, so she said angrily, let me tell you, Mu Jinyu, you and I have already gotten our certificate. You wanting to divorce me is impossible. If you dare divorce me and find Su Anan, my parents and grandmother will not forgive your Ma family. Men hated to be suppressed by women the most. So Su Zihan's words made Mu Jinyu's disgust towards her increase by another level. Mu Jinyu did not say anything to Su Zihan. Su Zihan thought that she had succeeded in making Mu Jinyu give up on the thought of divorce. She revealed a smile and said in a gentle voice, Brother Jinyu, I'm sorry, but when I heard you mention divorce, I felt really bad. Don't be angry with me again. I will take good care of you and then we will have a baby as soon as possible to make Mom and Dad happy. Su Zihan was referring to Lady Mu and Mu Jin when she said mother and father. Su Zihan's tone was so gentle now. There were tears in her eyes. In all this, Mu Jinyu saw no trace of pity. On the contrary, he felt that he was so blind to be together with Su Zihan. He felt that Su Anan was still the best. Waiting for him to recover, he wanted to catch Su Anan and bring her back. Mu Jinyu did not want to talk to Su Zihan, so he simply closed his eyes and went to sleep. Su Zihan saw that Mu Jinyu had fallen asleep. She held onto the apple knife tightly, and wished that she could stab Mu Jinyu and force him to ignore her. She took a deep breath, thought about Jiang Mei's explanation, and suppressed her temper. Mu Jin's family regretted so much that they chose Su Zihan as their daughter-in-law. After seeing the true colors of Jiang Mei and her daughter, they hated them so much that they wanted Mu Jinyu to divorce her. Su Zihan was taking care of Mu Jinyu in the hospital, and honestly speaking, she wasn't taking care of him at all. Su Zihan just took out her phone and looked at the nurse taking care of him, and also instructed the nurse to peel some fruits and pour water for her. Mu Jinyu could not stand being together with Su Zihan. He got off the bed and took a step, followed by Su Zihan. However, the ones backing Su Zihan and her were the Jiang family, so they did not dare to offend them. And all of this was just the beginning. Su Zihan did not have the temper of a big miss, and had messed up the Mu family. Gu Mocheng was really ruthless. He chose to release the video at Mu Jinyu's and Su Zihan's wedding, so that Mu Jinyu and his family would not have peace for the rest of their lives. Old Lady Gu was still worried about Su Anan, even after thinking about it for a whole day. The most important point was that she missed her own daughter-in-law. She hid it from Gu Zhen and brought 2 people to Ningcheng University to find Su Anan. She didn't even know where Su Anan would study or attend lessons. But her darling grandson Gu Ziming was also in Ningcheng University. She called Gu Ziming and called him out. Gu Ziming was playing an all-nighter in the internet cafe, when he saw that the old lady's phone was hung up. However, the old mistress had called him, and he dared not hang up on her even if he wanted to. Offending his grandmother was even worse than offending his grandfather. As an old grandma, she would start crying and complaining to his grandpa whenever she felt wronged outside. Then, as the owner of the wife, regardless of the reason, after hearing her grandma's words, he would immediately find someone to settle the score. Gu Ziming thought of his ancestors and felt a headache. Grandmother. Stinky kid. I'm at the entrance of Nincheng University. Come out and fetch me. On the phone, Gu Ziming heard old lady Gu say, Nincheng University? Gu Ziming's mind went blank. What the hell? Was Grandma here to investigate him? Gu Ziming quickly left the internet cafe. Luckily, he was at the back gate of the school at the internet cafe, while old lady Gu was at the front gate of the Nincheng University. Gu Ziming went to his dorm as fast as he could to change his clothes. After staying in the internet cafe for the whole night, he smelled like smoke. It was almost lunchtime at school, and many students had already left for their dorms after school. Gu Ziming hurriedly rushed to the school gate, and as he was running, he saw the girl walking towards him and was stunned. He suddenly felt that something was wrong and stopped in his tracks. Hian? Gu Ziming thought uncertainly. He turned around and looked at the girl's back. She looked completely different from Racetrack, but Gu Ziming was sure that the girl was Hian. Thinking about Hian, Ziming naturally thought about the matter of him being tricked by her. Dance with a mask and underwear on. This was definitely the most humiliating thing that Gu Ziming had ever done in his life. Su Anan curiously looked at the boy who stopped her. The boy looked a little familiar. This name? Su Anan looked at the boy in front of her again and remembered. If this was not Ming Xiao who was dancing and dressed in underpants with Xiao Xin, then who could it be? Gu Ziming's t-shirt and slacks did not look like the hoodlums that Racetrack had met before. Seeing his obviously good student look, no wonder she could not remember who he was. Sorry, you got the wrong person. Su Anan laughed and said, My name is not Hian. She was not called Hian, she was called Su Anan. It was obvious that he was seeking revenge from Hian. Su Anan was not stupid. How could she not see through it? Besides, she was a well-behaved girl right now. What was driving a car? She had never played with it before. Gu Ziming was not fooled by Su Anan at all. He snorted coldly, gritted his teeth, and said hatefully, I can recognize you even if you turn into ashes. Causing him to make a fool of himself in front of so many people. And most importantly, he didn't even lose. Is that so? Su Anan laughed. But fellow student, I really don't know you. Su Anan insisted that she and Gu Ziming did not know each other. Did you recognize the wrong person? People are similar to each other. Now, you think of others as you are me. How could Gu Ziming mistake the Hian in front of him? He had been looking for her to settle the score. Stop pretending, Gu Ziming said in displeasure. Su Anan saw Gu Ziming's stubbornness and felt the pain in her head. She lifted her wrist to look at the time. Just now, Gu Mocheng had called to say that the old lady was waiting for her at the school gate. Old lady Gu waited for Gu Ziming outside the school for a long time. When she didn't see him, she waited for his call. Gu Zhen guessed that she had gone to Nincheng University and asked her to come back. She said that he had to see his daughter-in-law today, or else he wouldn't be returning to Gu Mansion. Gu Zhen had no choice but to call Gu Mocheng. So Gu Mocheng called Su Anan and told her to go meet the old lady at the school gate. Unexpectedly, Su Anan ran into him the moment she stepped out of the dorm room. Fine. Su Anan anxiously went to the school gate to find the old lady. Seeing that Gu Ziming seemed to want her to repay her debt, she could only admit it. I am Hian. Su Anan said. What do you want me to do? What do you want? Being asked by Su Anan, Gu Ziming didn't know how to reply. He also didn't know what to do with Su Anan. Dancing in a mask or running naked? You don't want me to run naked in school, do you? Su Anan asked. They had bet on who would win and who would run naked. However, Su Anan was a girl, so he felt a little sorry for letting her run around naked. When he thought about how he was scammed by Su Anan, he also felt that she had to fulfill her previous promise. Without waiting for Gu Ziming's reply, Su Anan said first, That's also fine. But last time we bet on who lost and who ran naked. I didn't lose, and neither did you, Su Anan said calmly, listening to Gu Ziming nod his head. When he finished, he felt something was wrong. As for what was wrong, he could not recall it at all. How about this? The clothes I'm wearing right now are not suitable for racing. Why don't I go up and change my clothes before going to racetrack with you? Su Anan suggested. Gu Ziming looked at Su Anon and felt that she was wearing a long skirt. Seeing that Gu Ziming was still thinking, Su Anon followed and said, "Wait for me downstairs. I'll be down very quickly." "All right." Gu Ziming did not feel that anything was amiss, as he replied. Su Anon smiled at him and said, "Wait for me. Don't take the chance to run away." With that, Su Anon waved and walked into a dormitory in front of him. Su Anon casually entered a dorm room. This dorm room was connected to another dorm room, so there was more than one door to the dorm room. After Su Anon went in, she came out from the other dorm room. She hid in the darkness and looked at Gu Ziming, who was obediently standing in front of the door. This Gu Ziming had to say that he was being honest. She did not know whose family's child this was, to be taught to be so stupid. Su Anon circled around before she arrived at the entrance of the Peace City. She did not know where the old lady Gu was, and Gu Mosheng did not give her the old lady's number. She could only check if there were any signs of the old mistress while she called Gu Mokeng. "Hubby, I'm at the school gate." Su Anon called Gu Mocheng, and the moment she opened her mouth, she couldn't help but become more gentle. "I didn't see my mother. I'll give you her number and you'll write it down," Gu Mosheng said. He was unwilling to let Su Anon contact the old lady Gu, but the old lady Gu was already old. Don't mention Gu Zhen, who was anxiously waiting for her at the entrance of the Peace City. He was also very worried. Otherwise, he wouldn't let Su Anon come out and pick her up. "Send me your number on WeChat," Su Anon suggested. "WeChat?" Gu Mosheng was startled. Obviously, he had never played around with this thing before. Just as Gu Mosheng was thinking, he heard Su Anon's surprised shout, "Who are you? Let go of me." Su Anon's panicked voice traveled to Gu Mosheng's ears, followed by the sound of her phone hitting the ground. Gu Mosheng's heart sank. He could not bother to reply to the phone. He immediately stood up and walked out of the door. The managers of the various departments in Gu's were reporting to him. Gu Mosheng was no longer in the mood to listen. He was certain that something had happened to Su Anon. Before leaving, Gu Mosheng called the old lady. Old Lady Gu was initially waiting in the car for Gu Ziming to come and pick her up. But after half a day, before Gu Ziming's figure had even appeared, she received a call from Gu Zhen. Gu Zhen was very angry at her actions, scolded her for a while, and then found Gu Mosheng for her. Old Lady Gu did not feel that she made a mistake. On the contrary, she felt that it was because she acted on her own accord that Gu Mocheng's daughter-in-law took the initiative to come to see her. She was worried about her daughter-in-law, so she came over to take a look. The madam sat in the car for too long and could not stay any longer, so she brought the bodyguard to sit in the small shop outside the school.